Excellent. If you could please just take your seats so that we can continue with the program. Thank you. Mr. Isturiz, I believe you're with us. You can hear us well?
Yes, thank you. Hello.
Excellent. Thank you. So it is my great pleasure on behalf of Belgrade Security Forum organizing team to say welcome to Mr. Antonio Lopez Isturiz, who is member of European Parliament and Secretary General of the European People's Party and also Treasurer of the Martin Center. We are grateful to Wilfred Martin Center for making this opportunity possible for the Belgrade Security Forum. And I would just like to say a few lines from your biography. I think it's important for our audience to know that you are a member of the European Parliament. If I'm not mistaken, it's your 4th mandate. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Representing the Spanish Center-Right People's Party. And the Secretary General, next to being Treasurer of the Wilfred Martin Center of the Centrist Democrat International. As an MEP, Mr. Lopez Isturiz chairs the delegation for relations with Israel and sits on the Committee on Foreign Affairs. He is also substitute on the Subcommittee on Security and Defense, a member of the delegation to the Parliamentary Assembly of the Union for the Mediterranean and delegation for relations with the Arab Peninsula. In addition, he serves as president of the European Union United Arab Emirates Parliamentary Friendship Group. Mr. Lopez Isturiz will be speaking about a topic that we have called an EU resilient to crisis, but it is really up to him how he takes this quite challenging issue. And once again, we are grateful to the Wilfred Martin Center for being a supporter of and partner to the Belgrade Security Forum for years now. Mr. Lopez Isturiz, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much. And not only in the name of the Martin Center, but the EPP, and you know, it's for me an honor to be today talking to you. And I'm grateful for the invitation to join you today at this 11th edition of the Belgrade Security Forum. Over the years, the Belgrade Security Forum has established itself as the premier gathering of political leaders and experts where they can discuss security issues affecting the Western Balkan regions. My friends, we've been living in extremely difficult times in the past 2 years. Many of us, we have lost dear friends, family members in this pandemic. Also, many have lost their jobs or even the hope that the pandemic one day will come to an end. And things, I hope, we all hope, will go back to normal, whatever normal meant to each of us. We faced a global crisis with devastating consequences to our societies, economies, and even democracies in some EU countries. The countries of the Western Balkans were not spared from these unfortunate global trends. We, as the EU, contrary to the fake news that was widely spread, have never left the Western Balkans countries to face these challenges alone. And the main reason for this is that we consider the region as part of the EU family. The pandemic was also a kind of infodemic, and not only our health status, but often our democracy suffered as well. Dear friends, I have always tend to look to the future, to imagine and shape it brighter than it is now. There has been an ongoing debate about the integration of the Western Balkans, about the process being in danger, and the idea of the EU abandoning the region, as I said, leaving to other external actors, such as Russia, China, Turkey, to spread their influence. We as the DPP can firmly state that this is not the case, not our intention. The EU has been present in your region as ever, and as a strategic partner, its main investor and principal donor. The EU and we as EPP have reaffirmed our unequivocal support for the European perspective of the region just a few weeks ago at our EPP-EU Western Balkan Summits in Ljubljana. The future of the Western Balkans is within the European Union, and in the European Union will not be complete without the countries of the region. Relationships are built on trust, and trust takes a long time to be established. We as the EPP understand and cherish the importance of this and have embraced the responsibility to rebuild the trust between the European Union and the Western Balkans, and to silence the Eurosceptic voices who have their own interest in a broken relationship between the two. We are very happy to have citizens from the Western Balkans involved in the ongoing Conference on the Future of Europe, which will conclude in spring 2022. It is encouraging to follow events organized in Skopje, Sarajevo, Pristina, and Belgrade, along with the various discussions where we listen to the voice of the people who want to be part of the solution to the European Union challenges. This proves that young people and civil society both see themselves as future EU citizens, as an integral piece of our common future. But nonetheless, more needs to be done, and our cooperation closer to build our joint common future. As part of the increased cooperation, we believe that politicians, high-level officials, as well as civil society representatives should be present and engaged in the Conference of the Future of Europe, as they are in the future. We, as DPP, strongly support the active participation of the Western Balkan countries at all levels: governmental, civil society, and the youth. On a consultative basis, through an established network via the multiple existing platforms, informal and formal meetings, the voice of the people from the region should be heard and integrated into the decision-making process of the European Union. In the field of security and defense, Europe has been committed to contributing to the security and stability of the Western Balkans for almost 2 decades now. The EU's first ever military operation, Operation Concordia, took place in this region. And also Operation Altea in Bosnia and Herzegovina is the EU's longest running military operation. I would like to pay tribute to all those who have served in these operations and other EU operations and missions. And I really do hope that the UN Security Council will give the Altea operation again a strong new mandate, which is very much needed if you look at the latest developments in the region. However, it is important to emphasize that the EU no longer views the Western Balkans as a simply recipient of security efforts. Countries from the region have participated in the EU's common security and defense policy, civilian missions, and operations as third countries, and align themselves with many of the EU's foreign policy-related statements and declarations. This further highlights how deep the Western Balkans engagement with us is. But here again, some countries are more aligned than others, and there is still important room for improvement. In parallel with the conference on the future of Europe, the EU is also working on a new strategic compass. This document, which is scheduled to be approved by the Council in March 2022, is meant to set new goals and targets for the EU security defense policy within 4 thematic baskets: crisis management, resilience, capabilities, and partnerships. Many discussions have already been held in Brussels and in other European capitals on how the EU should further develop or upgrade its security and defense partnership with different countries and regions, including the Western Balkans. My friends, in the face of recent challenges, numbers are an excellent tool to reaffirm that the relation between the EU and the Western Balkans remain fundamentally strong, as it has always been the case. The European Union is leading trade partner for all Western Balkan countries, accounting for almost 70% of the region's total trade. We, as Europeans, are also putting forward the economic and investment plan adopted a year ago by the European Commission, which compromises 9 billion euros in grant funding and other 20 billion euros in investments in order to stimulate the region's long-term green socioeconomic recovery and competitiveness, support its green and digital transition, and foster sustainable connectivity, regional integration, and trade. Moreover, we are pleased to introduce the guidelines for the implementation of the Green Agenda for the Western Balkans, which is in line, by the way, with the EU Green Deal. Following up on the decisions adopted at the Berlin Process Summit in Sofia in 2020, we see the Common Regional Market Action Plan as crucial for the regional economic cooperation and integration. The benefits and advantages will be wide-ranging. It will boost prosperity and socioeconomic recovery, but will also serve as an entry point towards the EU single market. Last but not least, the enlargement-related processes, which have been ongoing since 2007, have been continuously and successfully supported with the IPA instrument for pre-accession assistance. The IPA 3, as a continuation of financial support for the region, is scheduled to provide 1.1 billion euros until the end of this year, contributing to the successful implementation of the economical investment plan. My friends, we hear echoes from Eurosceptics around us, both within and outside the European Union. They say that the EU is failing to deliver on its promises, failing to deal with the crisis, failing to fulfill its mission. Indeed, for the last decade, we have been facing multiple crises, but this made us and continues to make us stronger. The EU is a family. When families face these problems, sometimes there are disagreements and fights, but at the end of the day, the whole family sits around the same table trying to find solutions for the common good. The EU is a successful project that tries to evolve and become something even greater. Democracy, respecting human rights, the rule of law, as well as tolerance and acceptance of each other's views and beliefs are at the heart of this unique construction. In a multipolar world of increased authoritarianism, unusual alliances and fake news, Europe remains a beacon of stability and safety. People who are attracted to undemocratic leadership, easy solutions, and pompous words should turn around and look back at the history of this continent. Many times, I only hear criticism without constructivism. And that, my friends, is not the way to move forward. We have welcomed critical voices and we are continuously committed to work on our mistakes, but also to communicate the facts and truths. The fight against disinformation is a high priority for building resilience and strengthening the bond between the European Union and the Western Balkans. To conclude, no, the EU is not leaving the Western Balkans on its own, not to Russia, to China, or whoever external actor. There are no magical nor instant solutions to the current and future challenges we all face, and we will have to deal with each one of them. And we will do so with actions to strengthen our mutual trust, our shared responsibility. We will work hard with our partners to implement reforms, to make strong commitments, and also, and this is key, to deliver our promises. By doing so, I'm positive that we will be able to unite as one Europe and progress together towards a more peaceful, democratic, and brighter future for all of Europeans, you, my friends, included. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Lopez Isturiz, for this introspective at first, but very uplifting panel at the end. We should have perhaps called it that the EU is not leaving the Western Balkans, and that should have been the title perhaps. So thank you very much for being with us. I know it's a late hour and you've been running from the airport to get to your office in time, so thank you very much for that. Fantastic. We will continue our program rather immediately with the next also thought-provoking panel, what kind of EU are we integrating into? Because I think it's also one of the challenges or topics that's on our minds here in Western Balkans today. So thank you again, and have a very nice night. Thank you.